So in this video I just showed you, this Xiaomi Mi A2 battery replacement repair guide is 30 minutes long. It's posted like 5 years ago. Jesus Christ. So this video is 3 minutes and 40 seconds. And within this 3 minutes and 40 seconds, dude took off 2 screws at the back of the spot on the phone, which is, I guess you have to have a screwdriver. I don't know what kind of screwdriver it is, but I'm sure it's probably not hard to obtain. Then he took off the top screen. So after you took the screws off, the screen comes off entirely, not the bottom of the phone. The screen attaches from the entire phone. And that's the screen. That's it. The motherboard is in the phone, but the screen just attaches. So it's a genius. So you take the screen off. So now the screen's off. So if you break your screen, the back is metal, so that doesn't break the screen. You take off immediately two screws. You detach the cable, attaches to the motherboard. It's right there. And then you take the battery off by taking off these 3 screws at the top, and you take the battery off. So within 3 minutes and 40 seconds, you take this ribbon off for the LCD screen, the ribbon off for the battery, 5 screws, and you take off both the battery and LCD screen. Okay? And why I'm arguing that Xiaomi and all these Asian brands are doing a better job when they're more smarter with smartphones. The screen itself, you can see here, brand new with return policy. You can return if you don't like it. 14 days free shipping, 14 days return policy. You see there, returns, 14-day return, free shipping. You'll get it between April 11th and 24th, which is, it's not from China, is it? It is from China, so it might be longer. But anyway, average price is $20, which is $32 roughly. $30, $27. It varies in price, but they're all brand new and they're all return policy based. So $27, you can see. $29. Some are even cheaper, but I would just go for the safer bet. $23. And the battery is like, I forget, but. So why I'm explaining all this bullshit to you, right? Women are cliquey. They buy the things everyone else is buying. Look at the $19, $12, $12, $17. Varies, 25, 21, 12, 21. So yeah, you can get a battery for this phone, let's say for 20 bucks, and you can get a screen for the phone, let's say for $25, right? That's $45 for the screen and the battery, which take 5 screws and probably a couple of minutes to take out. So the phone is $262 and the battery and the screen is $45. So for $300, you get a screen and you get 2 batteries, which is pretty good value, and it's very easy to change. It's very easy to change, easy to access. Chinese people are just more smart. They're making smartphones more intelligent. The things that cost money to replace, they're making for cheap, and it's easy to access them. It seems like I'm noticing there's a trend with Chinese versus American technology. Like American phones, it's just impossible to get things, whereas Chinese, it's making it, over time they're improving, which is what you want to see with the companies. They're making it easier for us so we can save money and effort and really make it more easier. And one day probably, maybe they can just pop off a screen. You know what I mean? Maybe you can just pop it off somehow instead of taking wires off or screws off, you know, who knows? You know, kind of like a battery, you know, those old batteries for cell phones, kind of like that. Anywho, so hopefully this all helps, and just showing you some stuff there, and just showing you the intelligence of Xiaomi. Like, I didn't even know that. That's how easy it was to take that thing out. I would, if I known, I would have, you know, made a bigger deal about it. But apparently, some things you learn the hard way. That Xiaomi is really doing that much of a great job, and we're obviously not getting here. You know what I mean? On many levels, we're not getting here. People are not getting here, you know, because they can't buy it, and then they're not getting here because they think iPhone's better. Go replace a screen for iPhone. How much that is? How much effort it is? Battery, everything. It's always been effort. I had an iPhone 4S. Goddamn, the battery drained. It's also this style. I had to go take screws off, and it was a pain in the ass to remove it. It was much easier than, I guess, the current iPhones, but the old one was similar to this. But even if you take off the back cover, like you only take off the battery off. If you want to take off the screen or replace the screen, good luck. So yeah. That's all. There's thinking other stuff. Anyway, so some random Tamil guy came into the Circle K the other day, a couple of weeks ago, and it was not the other day, but I feel like the other day, but like 2 weeks ago, maybe. It was recently, but it wasn't that far off. And time was going quick and slow at the same time. and he has his young daughter, right, walking, like 4 year old, 3 year old, and he was like, "Oh, who would marry my daughter?" She's walking in front of him. He's trying to guilt me because I guess he knows something's up with my life and some girls. Let's say I'm interested in the Shanaki Tamil community, who are lighter skinned of nature, and there's multiple girls that are probably interested in me at this point. And for some reason, he feels it necessary to come to Circle K after the Sri Lankan Tamil community murdered my younger sister, and now they're saying, "Oh, who would marry my daughter?" Well, my younger sister wasn't even allowed to be married. You killed her, and your community did, and now you're gonna pretend like you had anything to do with them. You didn't do that. Well, yeah, I'm sure you guys pick and choose when you want to be a community and not it's all an act, right? So they don't care about their daughter. This is just for them to enjoy a girl, trap a girl in sex. That's it. They don't care about that guy's daughter. He doesn't care about his daughter. He doesn't care about other people's daughters. They want to enjoy, find some street Davy looking girl just to fuck. That's all it is. And yeah, so I would let his daughter be married and happily live after with her husband. Looks like he's not interested in that. Looks like they are just interested in marrying lighter skinned girls, and that's the only time that girls have value in their community, which is kind of racist. And then they're saying the race is somehow superior too. It kind of doesn't make any sense because you're saying this one thing is better, and then they're saying other things not. So if you're male is better, but if you're a woman, it's not. So how come they prioritize the black males then? Shouldn't they be prioritizing the white males and the white females? And then maybe that should be how it goes. If you really think light skin is better, shouldn't the light skin be able to choose when they want to sex anything? Why is the black skin degrading black skin and then choosing and guilting light skin to be sexing them? Looks like a joke, and you can bet your ass Sinhalese are run that country better than these morons don't run anything. They don't even have to rape girls. So those rape girls anyway. And yeah, white people back in 2012, they didn't want me being in Toronto anymore. Like, they didn't want me to go to work at Kuma anymore. They want to rape me off and figure out who I am. That's what Miss Harvey did when I was in grade 1. She knew I knew white people just fucking even know where to make it about themselves. And so she wanted to attract some rape into my life. And that's when my cousin came from Sri Lanka and raped me. So have a gun and barricade yourself. White people know how to attract negativity into your life. That's how they do it. And they'll make you forget who you are through rape. You know that movie Get Out? It's exactly that's what's happening there. They just rape off the men and the women to make them forget who they are. It's pretty screwed up. And Pakis are helping them help that happen. They work in tandem. White people in Pakistan are like this. Behind closed doors, they just act in front of everyone like they're not. They're working together to destroy everyone else. As long as no one knows that's what they're doing, that they have the advantage, they can keep getting away with what they're doing. So stay away from Pakis and whites. People, yeah, so you lose power through sins and pretend to be a bad person or hateful or sex-based or alcohol-based. Don't go into it. Stay away from it. Be virtuous. Be innocent and stay close to God. I've already said this many times, but just remember that. The powers that be create hate in relationships and make you guys fight. And they're the reason behind the hate, like Pakistan is behind my parents fighting with me and everything else since the day they came here. But before they came, it was peaceful, it was really great. And Pakistan is creating hate and problems. And yeah, there's lawless, corrupt society. Oh, fuck, man, my neck hurts. Anyway, I pulled my neck and my shoulder and everything. I don't even know why. Anyway, Pakistan's only goal is to destroy Asia on behalf of whites. That's literally what they're doing. If you guys don't know, that's really what's happening, believe it or not. They just have to pretend to be Muslim and keep destroying Muslims in Asia on behalf of whites. And so yeah, they want to rape me off through Mira. They want to rape me off through April. They want to rape me off through my cousin in grade 1. And this is why I don't know who I am. So I'm telling you, this is what they're doing. That's who they are. Stephen was helping this. They're all trying to separate us. That's who they are. It sucks when you're young, you're innocent, you don't know what to do. It's a big power. White people's power has fallen away greatly since time because I think they're gained or become completely lost in time. They've definitely lost themselves, and destroying them now is going to be the easiest thing in the whole world. But I don't need to, not me, I'm saying like the time will destroy them now. Like it's not even comparable how they used to be compared to now, especially how Canada used to be. And you can just walk away from white people now. They don't have any sort of, no one cares about them in the world anymore because of their gay state. You just have to not be gay and be good. And I hope you guys understand, don't play with sex. White people use that to destroy you. It's all a setup. You know, back in the day, they slut shame girls, and they make sure you never go after sex. Nowadays, they're saying sex is the answer. Sex is the greatest thing in the whole world. It's all a lie. Don't believe it. And the black people are the number one frauds in the world. The number one race as a fraud behind white people is blacks who live in the West, who complain about what white people did to them, and then go back to them for money. So they're all living for Satan. They know it. They're all Tupac. Everyone sold themselves to the devil. Beyonce. They're not living for God. They're not living for anything other than white supremacy. So them acting like they're somehow they deserve reparations or anything, you don't get to fucking talk about reparations if you're living for Satan. You can live for whatever you want. You're living for Satan, and you don't get to whine about it. That's how it is. You chose your own poison in this world. And I'm going to show you how much Native people existed in Canada, just to give you an idea of what people are capable of in the world and what they won't ever tell you. So this is in 14, what year is it? This is how much people was in Canada at 1492, which is right here. More than 5 million in 1492. And this is their idea of how much white people, what they can do to the world and how they behave. So yeah, so they destroy Native people. They wipe them off in ways I can't even explain, and they just took this land over, and they have the audacity to call it Canada. This is not Canada. This is a third. Excuse me. So England is first England, America is second England, Canada is third, and I would say Australia is fourth, and New Zealand is fifth. They're all England in some form or another. We have Queen Elizabeth on the back of our coins, so does England, so does Australia. America has broken quote-unquote ties, but they're still living in tandem, I think. So black people who want to go live in these countries and then they complain about racism, they're a bunch of jokers. Just ignore them. White people are Satan. You don't live for Satan and then you come and say, oh, white people are great. No, they're not. Maybe you might have thought that. Maybe you think that you need them, but you do not. They're Satan. And any Sri Lankan people living here as well have turned on their community and are not living for their community anymore. If you live in one generation here, your children will forget everything about your community and your relation and your culture. They will live a washed down product of it. And that generation after that will be even worse. You can try as hard as you want to compete with the Sri Lankan Tamil or the Indian Tamil or whatever Tamil. They're going to be a washed out product no matter what. I'm seeing it already. And that's what everyone else is too. Chinese, Japanese, Philippines. You cannot live in this country and follow your community the way you think. That's a joke. You're basically taking the white people's side first and foremost. Everything else is secondary, and time will show that. And even the Muslims are supporting gays. Even the blacks are supporting white people in the end. So it's all an act. End of the day, you're here for white money. Okay? So I hope you take that very seriously. And remember, white money doesn't want to give you white money anymore. And they want Pakistan to destroy your life or to rape you at your workplace or to do anything to you. Because that's what they do to girls here. I saw that some girl or some guy in my workplace was... they raped off one of the girls and the girl didn't come back, but there's no justice for it. And I was like, why is this happening? And my point is, why I'm trying to scare you to realize this is the Pakistanis white people work together. They don't care what Pakistan is doing to anybody. Don't get it twisted. And I'm telling you this straight so that you understand that's what the ship will say in the end. The Titanic that is Canada. This is the second Canada. This is the second England. Yeah, when I went to my elementary school, which is behind my house, which is right here. That's my elementary school, St. Andrews, Great place, shitty people, because over time the teacher I went back told me one of my teachers is the vice president or something, vice principal, sorry, of my school. He told me that, why are you coming back here? And I was like, just to say hi. Like I was probably like grade 9, not grade 9, like first year of university. And I was just going for like inspiration to see. My younger sister wasn't not at the school at the time. I think she was probably, no, she was at the school at the time. What am I saying? So a kid was going there and I was like, let's go see his place a little bit. I walked through, I saw Mr. Volpe and he said, we're just gonna fuck you or make it out of Pakistan. He said, why are you here? What are you doing here? And I was like, I'm just here to see you guys. What do you mean? And I was like, I just was here to my fucking school. I just at school for 10 years here. That was like 5 years ago. 4 years ago. Whatever. And he's like, my sister still goes here. Okay? It's behind my fucking house. So 2 examples of white people and who they really are. 3 examples I'll give you. clear examples of white people just saying fuck off, it's not about you. So I went to school here. Mr. Volpe said, why do you come back here? We're just gonna fuck you over and make it about Pakistan. We don't really care about you. And I was like, I was the best guy student in my entire class. We had one grade in my graduating class, one grade 8. There was no other grade 8 class. There was only one. I was the only guy to stand on the stage as one of the honor students, and the other 4 were girls. I was the smartest guy of all the guys, quite evidently. Maybe Nico second. But let's be real here. He knows that. He knows that I'm a very good student. I was in his class for grade 7. He knows who I am. He knows my sister probably goes here. He knows everything. This guy just told me to get lost. So I was like, I don't want this guy. I don't know why he's like this. They're saying they live for Satan in their heart. If you don't want to live for us, get lost. That's what he said and did. So my word of advice is, white people are just fucking two-faced. They live for Satan. They'll be nice to you, and they'll say they live for Satan and get lost. That's not example number 1. Example number 2, I don't like black people. I think they're stupid. I think they're a bunch of losers. They get what they get white people because they just are stupid. Their community is broken. We can't do anything about that. Hopefully God saves their community one day. I don't wish hate about anybody, but they are stupid. China is good. India is good because they work together as a community. We can't make them do that. This is not call out racism here. Native people have the same problem. And so do a lot of other people in the world. Even like Colombia, is it a drug problem? Is that racism? They have their own community problems. You can't blame that on us. That's not race. That's really unfair to say it's racist. It's a really shit community, right? North Korea is another example. Sri Lanka is a perfect example. So the community you live in, race is a problem, but it's not only race though. There's a lot of other issues that happen in communities in the world. You know, what's the difference between Japan and Malaysia? Malaysia is a Muslim community. Indonesia is a Muslim community. So it's big differences here. Anyway, the point is, the guy told me to leave. So the current principal of my St. Andrews High School is a Muslim Pakistani person. It's a Muslim person's name. And it's a Muslim person running the high school here right now. And most people going here are Muslim right now who are Pakistan. And most of the neighborhoods becoming Pakistan. So I'm telling you what's happening to white people. Pakistan sold the devil. White people sold the devil. Same devil. They'll live for that devil. Another example of white people telling me to get lost was when I worked in the courthouse. I was working in Osgood Hall in 2019. And he's a good character, Justice Thomas McEwen. And I was just not talking to the guy. I wasn't doing shit. I was just minding my own business, yo. I'll mind my business. I'm doing my job. And eventually I'm walking by, and I was like, how come these people fucked everybody over to make it all done? What the fuck is wrong with people? And it's like, and I was like, how come you guys, I want to ask him, kind of like bring it up. And he's like, just leave. You just leave. I was like, wow, that was quick. I didn't even bring out the sentence. I didn't even bring up the topic. This guy just leave. I was like, wow. They already know what's coming. They already know you're going to ask those type of points. Like, hey, so what do you think about X? Leave. I'm like, wow. They already know in their heart it's going to be about race. It's going to be about black people. It's going to be about native people. It's going to be about anything. Sri Lankan Tamils. It's going to be about Muslims. Leave. He's a judge and I work for him and I work directly with him. He's probably the closest judge was to me. And I was like, wow, so their answer just leave. And you know who else told me that? My best friend Steven. When I was a kid, I went to ask him because this was my first time meeting a white guy. I was like in grade 5 or something. I was like, why is this guy okay with white people considering white people did to black people? I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, why would you be okay with that? Like, I know black people fucked up, but you don't just go and get to show merciless pain to people just because you feel like it. I saw the Congo, they cut off so many people's hands because they refused to work anymore to white people. King Leopold, this Belgian king, back in I forget when, 100 years ago roughly. And it was like 10 million people. He cut off their hand and he cut off their genitalia. Kids. I'm like, so I don't know that back then, but I know this recently. So let me just tell you the point. So why, I asked Steven, I'm like, yo bro, why are you allowed to do this? Like, how come you do this, like, your people, your race did that? It's like, we didn't do that, it was other people. It was in Macedonia. I was like, that's true, it's not you. But I'm like, you're okay with those? You seem like your relations are fine. And you're not making a point about it, you know? Like, you don't seem to have a problem with it. And Steven was like looking at me like, just leave if you want my house. If you don't want to. I was like, your answer is I can leave for asking you what you think about slavery? So that's white people's answer. And so if I could kill Steven for saying stuff like that, I would. Because that's messed up. Because if I were to slave his mom or dad, he would have a problem with that. So, or his brother. White people gang up on everybody. Another day, Steven's brother, a couple of weeks ago, like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago probably, and I don't remember when, it was a couple of weeks ago. Steven's brother came to my, on my street and tried talking to me. I thought it was Steven. And I was like, I'm ashamed to know this person anymore, Steven, because he's a weirdo. But this guy came, and I was like, whatever. Steven's brother came to me, and he was like talking some bull crap. And then he asked me cleverly, he's like, how come you don't want to get a lawyer for defense for your court case? Brother asked me that in his heart. He didn't ask me with his mouth. He asked me that in his heart. And I was like, I know that's why you're really here. So I know you white trash are just trying to figure me out and try to fuck me over to stay here or something. Otherwise, it's very convenient. Me and Shika are potentially, or whoever, have a court case, and the people who separated me and Shika, Steven, when I was in high school, and now his brother, are magically reappearing all of a sudden. And he's asking me why I don't have a lawyer for goddamn defense. So I don't know what the agenda is there, but I said I'm going to present myself, Go Will Hunting or something like that. But I also don't understand why this kid needs to know that and how he even knows I have a court case or how he knows anything. So anyway, now you know how people work. It's the white men versus everybody else. I could give a shit about that problem. Them and their faggot country. I am leaving, and you can come with, or you can stay in this bullshit where white people pretend like Pakistan's more important than us, or their white people are more important than us. Hey, let me tell you what happens at the end of the story. This city doesn't exist in the end. And my parents have chosen that, and you have probably chosen that, trusting that white people and money is the answer. What happened to the Titanic? What happened to Titan submersible? You don't think God would have saved them? Oh yeah, they were taking risks, right? Titanic was on the maiden voyage. They didn't make it to the destination. And this is country, how old is this? 150 years, something like that? 160? It won't make it 200 years. And you can guarantee that's how it works when people live for Satan. So God doesn't save Satan in the end, buddy. That's fucking crazy that anyone would want to bully you or me, or my mom or my dad or my younger sister or anybody. Satan thinks he's gonna win in the end is fucking the most stupidest logic I've ever heard in my entire life. You can see the heaven in front of you, fucking heaven's real, and that's the lowest heaven in front of us, the Quran says. So heaven's beautiful, and white people think for some reason they're better off. So be careful with Steven and everyone else. They're a bunch of fakes. And I wouldn't say it to your face. I'd rather let them perish than after that not say anything. That's what I believe about these people. And who say, why am I coming back to my elementary school where I used to dominate and do well? Just to see with a teacher who I used to like. I used to love my Mr. Philippe and the teachers. Why are they being this fake? What kind of teachers are that? So maybe life will teach them a lesson worse than they taught us in school. And looks like that's everything that's going to happen. Anyway, so gays will be wiped out. Saudi is the most peaceful country I've ever been in my entire life, period. I will definitely raise my children in Saudi Arabia, and I don't think the children are going to be like, don't come back, here's about Pakistan white people. So, and if they do that there, then clearly we know who's running Saudi Arabia at that point, but I don't think it's ever going to happen to that level. Anyway, hopefully it works out, and you guys see this video and see the point I'm trying to make here. They're trying to rip you up to figure out who you are. It's a whole get out culture of white people. Ignore them. I don't care about Steven and his whores. I don't care about any of this bullshit. I'm sorry for disrespecting so many people, but they are being very disrespectful to us. And yeah. Anyway, so I live for God. I was thinking about why these people are trying to fuck with me. I'm thinking about it again, but anyway, I don't really care. I'm not afraid like Steven of losing. Like I used to beat him in wrestling all the time, and he had a problem with that, but I didn't have a problem with losing or winning. I'm the winner here. I go to heaven. Steven goes to hell. So Pakistan, these whites are going to hell. They're all going to hell. They don't matter. They all sold their soul to the devil. If you choose to live with these people, you must be an idiot. You must not have a better agenda of self-respect. And I challenge people on that. So hopefully you leave and you go live somewhere else. They're also fucking over the Greek people. I don't know why. Maybe that's how it works. I think Jewish people care about people who have more power in the community, and they just let it be about them, and then they burn them out in the society, and let the next person in power come. And that's what they're doing in Toronto. And it seems like Greek people are not saying their power, and the Pakistanis have power, and the blacks have power, and some whites have power, and the other people about them. And I don't care. It's Jewish community versus the reality that happens when you start bullying people. Eventually that doesn't go well for you. For white people that works out for a short time, but eventually they'll get wiped out the way you always do. And in the West, in the East, the bullying culture doesn't exist. Yakuza's getting wiped out in Japan, in Malaysia. Such things don't exist in Saudi Arabia. So as much as it seems like Canada's a peaceful country, I think it used to be that way. I think back before 2004, they let these rats in here and all these losers. I don't think it's ever going to go back to where it used to be. I think it's pretty much going to decay into where it's supposed to be when situations are like this. Anyway, so hopefully that tells you who what your loser Steven's family is coming looking for me to find out why they're trying to separate me and my girl I like, and I don't know, what the joke is. Maybe Ashika's not on my side and she's on the white people's side. With all due respect, I think Steven was a loser in high school and so was everyone else. Uh, God made me win. Don't complain this time. I'll see you in another video when God makes me win again and you guys keep losing. No offense. That's what losers are in the Quran, it says. And I've literally been saying it the whole time. Losers lose and winners win. There's a reason for it. It's not because I cheated or took steroids or anything. It's not because I had a cheat sheet and I was writing down things to learn how to be better. God said, this guy's better. These other people are losers. And that's how it usually works out. And my mistake with, just to criticize Christians and everyone else, who did Stephen and his Satan friends worship before Jesus Christ came? They prayed to Shiva, Jesus. Now that's their God. Who was their God before Jesus came to earth? Who was Hindu's God before Shiva came to earth? You can think about that for yourself. And I'm not mistaken, Shiva and Jesus both said to pray to one God, which is above watching us. God is for everyone. Shiva isn't, because a lot of people don't know who Shiva is or Jesus. Love for everyone, not rapists, murderers, and people who sleep with multiple women, like Stephen. And Stephen's not a rapist or murderer. I don't know if he's a murderer. I don't think he's a murderer, but I don't think he's a rapist. I don't know if he is, and he definitely sleeps with multiple women. That's for sure. That's what he told me. So if he's doing that, I'm not, and Stephen is doing fucked up things, then why is that allowed for some people but not others? Why are Christians allowed to do that, but Muslims in Mecca are not, and Muslims in Saudi are not, Muslims in Malaysia are not, other people are not allowed to do that, but why are these people allowed to? So it seems as though God in fairness is for everybody. Why are some people allowed to bend the rules in their favor and other people are not? And school was a scam, and I tried to show people how superior I was while I was in school, but to be honest with you, I always thought the money's where I'm gonna go get the money where the money's easy to get, and school was seemingly the easiest money path, but it turns out they want you to sell your soul to the devil here, in order to make money, even as a doctor. So, see ya. Now I can understand why it's too good to be true. And anyway, I think I've hopefully dominated the situation. My heart told me back in 2013 January to leave to Dubai and start my life there and get a visa and start working, and now I think that's the best thing I ever did. The only thing I waited on is to find a wife here. She hasn't come, so I'm on my way to life, and I think Ishika might come one day, but ultimately I win against white people, and white people only win against the universe. Why should I wait for them to do something for me, or Ishika do anything for me? I can dominate another 4 years, and you'll see what level I'm truly at, and you will start making more excuses, and everyone also make more excuses and go with an Anton or go with whoever, and I'll literally find a new way to live a life and live better, and you'll still live the way white people told you to live. And I literally went to cars. I had 4 cars in my driveway, and I said this car game is a done deal because time's going too quickly, and there's no time to give attention to this bullshit anymore. And so electric is the right answer. This Integra is reliable, Corolla reliable, but it's too much components, too much things to keep figuring out and working on, and it's just waste. Now I realize how right I was. I said back then I thought iPhone was bullshit. I had iPhone 4S at the time. Actually, it was really recently when I had iPhone 4S back in 2015. And I said, Android's way better. It's Google-based. Apple doesn't seem to have anything to do with Google search engines. It doesn't have their own search engine. Their Apple Mail, I haven't heard of it. It just seems like they're just not in the same league. Eventually Google will just be the more favorable. Google's the best. Google search engine. Google's the best. Google is like already won people over. I don't know why you could even compete with that. Seems like you're just undermining Google. Apple. Anyway, so Google's also my white people, and so is Microsoft and Windows. It seems like Android's more of a supremacist culture. Sorry, Apple's more of a supremacist culture on Android for white people to use their supremacy to apply that they're more beautiful, more special. And anyway, I don't know why they can't feel the same way with Windows or Android. It's kind of weird, right? Elitism. Anyway, another point I had to make about this is stay away from Pakistani people. They try to figure people out to destroy them. White people doing the same thing. All the same people are doing that, and they destroy you through sex, alcohol, drugs, and debt. Those with money, they control you so you can't leave. The other things, they destroy you so you're oppressed. The Quran says all the things that destroy you in this life sins, they oppress you. So they want you to stay oppressed and weak. So that's how they do it. You should watch the movie Get Out. They're literally talking about exactly that. The guy wasn't sex and he's attached to the girl, and he just, he's thinking differently than a guy who's strong. And that's how they do it. So you say no to sex. I'm clearly going to win in this, as always. And don't complain this time, Ishika or anyone else. Ishika's not going to watch this, but I'm saying whoever in the world, complaining about whenever I win. I can literally wipe people out if I wanted to with what I know about how weak they are. and they will be wiped out anyway within the next 40 years. But the good ones will not. So the good ones, they'll go to heaven, or not go to heaven but still be good. And the other ones who confess to living for Satan, like Mr. Volpe in Pakistan, I mean, why should they even exist, right? So yeah, that's kind of an excuse for me. So praying to Shiva and my sentimentality to Shiva caused me to have blue light problems. My heart told me that was gonna happen. When I was praying to Shiva, I didn't listen. And alcoholism. I started becoming depressed and turned to alcohol for a little while because I prayed to Shiva. Shiva cut off his own son's head, right? That's pretty well known. Why is someone allowed to do that? So I love Shiva, but let's be completely honest. Am I allowed to cut off my wife's head? Or vice versa? My wife cut off my head? No. Shiva is not God. He can never be God if he's doing that. A God would not do that, okay? There's no mistake with God, right? God's perfect, most beautiful, most merciful, that's what the Quran says. Why would Shiva do that? Shiva or Jesus or Muhammad are just human people, period. They cannot have been anything else. And they're not monkeys, they're not gorillas, they're not giraffe. They're not dolphins. They're human. They're not a robot. So yeah, they're not God. So don't stop praying to those people, you know? Don't live a lie. Who did they pray to before Jesus? Who did they pray to before Shiva? Just look at it, common sense. So who do you pray to now? And then, one God, it says in the Quran. That's it. It says in every religion, one God. Even Hindu religion, even Christian religion. They don't follow it anymore. So I'm telling you all this is a fight against white power and Satanism. Just be Muslim and live for God. When I was in heaven, everyone was Muslim. When I was in heaven, we all spoke Arabic. Period. This life is a test, they say, but everyone will go to hellfire. For me, the test is to be as good as I can to get to higher heaven, which is, I'm getting to higher heaven than anyone I know. Only one person might get to higher heaven than me. That's pretty good, right? Everyone else is going to hell, first of all. Second of all, the ones who will go to heaven are not even going to heaven. They're going to hell first. I'm not. So I succeeded in my life. I hope you understand that. And if anyone ever watches this, I'm not to communicate to Yashika, so I don't think she'll ever watch my videos ever in life. So this is for everyone else. But don't complain when we get to heaven and we're doing better and God favors us. Literally, that's fucking unfair. Like, Jesus Christ might have a better life. Why are you hating on him? He goes to heaven, so do I. I will meet Jesus Christ in heaven. It says, everyone will meet every prophet who goes to heaven. Every person going to heaven will meet every single prophet in heaven. So, me. And I don't know if I'll shake their hands. You're supposed to live for God. You're not supposed to live for tribes or Black Lives Matter or White Lives Matter or Bloods or Crips or Nazi or Jew or Hindu. You're supposed to live for God. Mercy for all. God is only merciful to those who are merciful, you know, in this life. So God only shows mercy on those who show mercy, or something like that. The Hadith says. So I'm paraphrasing, but that's the idea. You have to show mercy for God to show you mercy. That's something like it says. Hopefully this helps. And I win. You know, I broke down all the Apple products. I mean, iPod Nano, iPod Video, iPod Shuffle, iPhone, iTouch, everything. If I'm being honest and not being judgmental or tribist, which is wrong. No, saying Windows is best, Nokia's best. I go behind the best quality and whoever's given it, right? Now it's Android, right? Xiaomi's doing a good job. So the best quality MP3 players for the money were not iPod on any level. iPod Video, any iPod. Nano, Shuffle, they're all shit. I had other companies and I was like, this iPod is not worth the money. This MP3 player is $20. Why do they buy the iPod version? Similar to cameras and everything else, I look at which cameras are good, I look which cameras are bad, and I'm like, oh, Sony was pretty good, you know? Apple don't make cameras, but you get my point. I just break down who's good and what. The only thing I thought Apple did a good job in was iTouch. The iTouch was reasonable, but for the money you're spending on iTouch on, I thought it's a good thing, right? It's great. It really is. But the Apple ecosystem is impossible to navigate. iTunes, all that. And then the biggest thing, why would you get a fake gaming system? Why just get a real one? Why would I play checkers on this stupid thing? Or chess? I can just go play chess on my computer. Or get a fucking PS3. Or PS2. Or an Xbox. Or GameCube. Or Nintendo DS. Or PSP. Which will be way better than this stupid iTouch bullcrap. So, yeah. I think that's what I would say about iTouch. They don't make it anymore, but I remember people had it, and I was like, a lot of people had it. It wasn't uncommon. I don't know what happened to them now, though. They just kind of disappeared for some reason, even though it doesn't make sense because iPhone's doing well, so I don't know why they wouldn't just make a non-iPhone version. But, I don't know, Apple's confusing. But even the things they make progress in, they seem to walk away from it. You know, they say iPad, right? I'm like, is iPad the same as iTouch? I don't think so. I think iTouch is way better. I think iPad is too big, right? You can't take that around everywhere. Like kids can and can't take that around, right? Like maybe 10-year-old, 5-year-old could, but like 12-year-old, 15-year-old probably want something realistic, right? I don't know. iTouch were cool. I thought iTouches were cool. They were something for kids to have, but what did you possibly do on those that you couldn't do on anything else? And people might say different things. Yes and no. I'd rather have those other things. I'd rather have Nintendo DS or PSP because those are really much better than iTouch ever was. So why I'm going on this tangent is just to say, what do Asian people do bad? I was like, man, everything Nintendo, Sony, everything's from there. Like Microsoft Xbox is okay, but Sony is Sony, you know. So Asian people are doing everything better. Food, technology, population, family, community, culture. Doing a pretty good job. They have a bad gay culture there. It's pretty bad. Too many gays, but the existence of gays in the first place, not even too many. Otherwise, they're doing a pretty good job. Asian people should be proud. Asia is like most of the world, you know. The population of the world mostly in Asia, all over Asia. Like it's not even Africa's like 1 billion, and Europe is nothing. It's like nothing compared to Asia. Asia's everything. Asia's the whole planet, man. So, yeah, no one waits for white supremacy anymore, man. Truth always prevails, and there's too many people to fucking buy iTouches or iPod videos or iPod Nano. I think they're just all kind of good, but what's the point? You know, depth is more required if you're going to spend that much kind of money. And yeah, Apple, in my opinion, they sell to a white community, but I don't see too many Chinese people having iPod Nanos. I don't see too many whoever having any of those stuff. I think it's more the West that caters towards that path. I think they're the ones who genuinely want to support and believe in such things, whereas the West is losing financially in the economy and the East is picking up big time the last 50 years. They genuinely believe in saving money. So that's where I'm like, where do you save the money with the iPhone? What do you save the money with the iTouch? What do you save the money with iPod Nano? Okay, you spend a lot of money, okay, but what do you get back? The bang for buck just isn't there, and it's not really purposeful. What's the point? And that's pretty much what white people are today. What's the point of them? What do they do correctly? Asia's doing everything. Honda, Toyota, they pretty much just exist, and they are has-beens. So that's what it is, man. And I can say that to your face, and I can say that if you're telling me that Justin Trudeau supports transgender more than he does previous immigrants in this country, I think you've heard everything you have to hear from the West, man. Canada has changed drastically in 20 years. You should watch that Pompeii song. Pompeii by Bastille or Bastille. Yeah, the name of the song. I don't know the name of the video group or whatever, the band. I don't know what the hell they are. Guys, whoever, girls. And they're talking about how sex decays society and they become extinct. So I mentioned in a previous video. Read the descriptions. I put stuff in the description. And if you don't listen to me now, you listen to white people, you chose your fate. Don't complain. And there's black people in Mecca and they don't want reparations. They want to stay away from white people. I wonder why. And maybe because of the movie Get Out. Words to wise, they're making movies about how black people are. Stay away from white people, man. Why would you go near Satan or Dracula? That guy's fucked in the head. Anyway, and look, the stupid kids are fucking. I can't show kids. It's probably not allowed. Anyway, because it got white people rules, Anyway, I hope this helps. Sorry to be negative and bleak about Canada, but it is that bad. And certain things are required in a society to maintain it. And when certain things aren't there, it's not good for the future of society. I always pick the winners. I never pick the losers. And I always find out who the real winners are. And I support the real winners. I guarantee you, Canada's going to be part of the losers. Other than the immigrants coming here, there's not much working here correctly in a direction that makes sense anymore. The immigrants are hard-working folk. And they're putting their eggs in the wrong basket. If they put their eggs in their own country or other places, I guarantee you it'd be better. Fucking, they're going to Seneca College and Centennial College and they're coming here. There's idiots here who went to fucking any university you can think of and they're not fucking getting anything. Scams, right? It's all a scam. But if I cared more about what tell them, I did tell them and they don't care and they think they have something good. Poor guys, man. It's all about being accepted by the white folk. That's what life is. People feel so pushed out by companies like Apple, by companies like Rolex, by companies like BMW, by companies like Lacoste. Everything's pushing everybody out. And they feel inferior without this stuff. And then they get accepted by white people. They're like, oh, white people like me because I can get a Lacoste now. Don't buy it. I never bought Lacoste in my life. I'm not blaming white people, but their rub is so beautiful because I can screw them over later and leave. That's what I always do. I'm like, thank you. Now I get to decide if I can fuck you over too, because that's what I do. I always fuck other people are fucked up, and I like white people losing to me. And yeah, so rest in peace, Apple. I'm predicting it now. Apple's on the way out. They have no more answers. And like they killed off Nokia, now they're going to kill off Apple. What is that, 10 years? How long was that? 10, 15 years, and now Apple's almost gone. Nokia's still here. So Apple doesn't make iPod Nano, it doesn't make iPod Video, it doesn't make iTouch, it doesn't make anything. It makes what, iPhone, and then the AirPods and the iPad and the MacBooks. MacBooks are shit. iPad also has been improved by the East, and they make it cheaper, Android based, and it's way better. In the planes, you have the Android based ones, really cheap, it's really good. Everything is fucking checkmate for Apple, man. Everything's checkmate for white people. All the things are going east. So anyway, don't waste my time anymore. I hope you watch this, and like I wasted for less than 11 years. I need to do another 4 years like I did in high school and show the Tamil people why I think Sinhalese should run Sri Lanka. And that's why I asked on a Sinhalese girl, I'm sorry, but that's how it works. I go with the winners, I don't go with the losers, because the losers are the ones who are going to cause their own destruction and they don't want to admit it. And the winners are the ones who are probably doing a better job in Sri Lanka. That's why Sri Lanka is run by Sinhalese for 2,000 years. Yeah, some of the things they do was bad, but most of the things with Tamils was way worse. And that's why Tamils are not allowed to run a country anywhere in the world. I don't think they have the ability, the morality to do so. I think they're fucked up. They're sexually moral, power-prone people. They're not truth-based or moral-based or sympathy-based or love-based. They're black Tamils mostly, and they're really, really, really fucked up people. They rape the light-skinned girls. They push out light-skinned men. Why should they run any country in the world? It's fucked up. See ya.